Hello, everyone. It's Linda Ockar-Jenner here again, one of the co-founders of the Small Business Community Network. And today I'm hosting the SBCN Small Biz podcast with a difference. We are inviting key members of the SBCN to be our experts each month, sharing their obvious expertise in whatever, business they have. And today I'm extra excited. I'm normally excited, but I'm extra excited today because a really lovely person, and I consider him a friend as well as a business colleague. Basically, he's going to be sharing some of his news, expertise, and tips about accounting. Hi there, how are you doing today, Peter?
I'm great, Linda. I am ecstatic to be on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. Um, Peter Piluk, it's an unusual name, as we were saying when we all had after drinks. And did you say it comes from a different country? It's not from Canada.
Yes, so in the my great grandfather came over from Ukraine in 1917. We all know what happened in 1917 in Russia and surrounding areas. And when he got to Canada, they were swamped with refugee claimants, which my family was.
Oh,
And so the immigration basically said, spell your name, and then after five initials, five letters, the immigration said, that's enough. This is what your Canadian name is. So
I
our
love it.
Canadian name is unique. And I'm related to every other Pillock that you see.
Oh,
So
I love it because it's an unusual name. I can never forget it. Um, it's a great story saying about how your ancestors came over to Canada. And also, hey, they probably did what you did, made a good life in Canada through hard work, determination, and loving what you do, because that's you in a nutshell, isn't it, Peter?
yes, thank you. I like to think so. I've been a serial entrepreneur for, I was thinking about it today, over 30 years in starting in tech and then moving my way into accounting, which is not as much of a stretch as a lot of people think. So,
Yeah. The other thing that I'm hoping you're going to share with us today in our first introduction to you being one of the experts of the SBCN podcast is I believe you're changing focus in parts of your business, and you do have a lovely partner. So as I say, that takes some of the stress away from you, the lovely Lisa. So first of all, why did you decide to be an accountant?
so my first career, my first business was actually software development. And I was writing, at the time, there was no such thing as fintech software. I was right, but I ended up writing what's called one of the first ERPs, which is Enterprise Resource Management
Wow.
software. And so what it does is it allows manufacturers to trace the production of their product from raw materials to finished goods and sold.
Wow.
And there's a lot of financial things in there, which I used some of my other uh, college experience to help me design the software. So when my career progressed, I ended up moving a little bit away from the fintech. I did some tech stuff, and then my lovely wife Lisa, she's an insurance broker, but she does taxes. She was doing taxes for clients because insurance is a good vehicle uh, for taxes. And COVID hit, so then some of her clients needed to get money. Some of her small business clients needed to apply for funding from the government. So uh, one of the things they would need to do is get their bookkeeping in order. So she came to me and said, "Could you possibly help out?" So
Oh.
I said, "Of course I can help out." So we progressed. I took a few updated courses just to wake my brain up into that area again, and then we progressed through COVID. We were able to help a bunch of our small business clients, and then COVID ended, and then a lot of our clients said we could really use some help with our business. And so we evolved our business into what its current form, which is Creative Minds Accounting, which focuses on uh, artists and musicians and creatives. However, we have a number of small traditional clients, and we don't strictly stick with that niche clientele, although uh, we it forms a large part of our identity. So here we are today, and in a nutshell, I'm working with all sorts of really cool and interesting people doing really cool and interesting things.
Oh, and you seem really happy now, not trying to dish you or anything. But if you said to me, "Do you like doing accounting?" and I'd go, "No, no, no, it's boring." I mean, I did have to do simply accounting when I returned to school for a year before I started my business, and my children used to do my homework for me because I didn't want to do it. But you're always happy. You're always, ready to help somebody, and I think there's people out there today, maybe leaving college, maybe leaving high school, who knows, university. I'm thinking, what's in it for me if I became an accountant? How do I choose what clients I want? Because you've been now since COVID, you said you've been, the growth has been phenomenal. So maybe you have a few ideas if somebody was thinking about getting into accounting, the pros and cons, because I have no idea.
Sure. So, like every industry, there are accountant influencers. So there's a gentleman named Jason Statz. He's goofy, he's fun, and he's an accountant influencer. And he said a lot of things that have been fundamental uh, to where I am today. But one of the best things he ever said was, if you find accounting boring, take a look at what you like.
Oh,
So, and then be the accountant for those people, because everybody needs an accountant.
yeah.
So when I was forming Creative Minds Accounting, my wife Lisa and I were in conversation, and I said, this is going to sound really crazy, but I would really like to work with more musicians and artists and creative types of all industries. And I'd said, and the reason is because one, we already had a number of clients like that, and I always found them among my favorite. And two, they need accounting, and most people in the creative idea are aren't as aware of having a business, the business side of their creativity as they should.
Hmm.
So it was sort of a double-edged sword. I was hoping to work with people I find interesting and also help creative people do something that frankly has to be done, but is often neglected. So,
So what the advice or the tip you're giving today is, if you want to be an accountant, if you want to know more about accounting, first of all think, well, who would my client be? What kind of client? Because
yes.
you are correct. It's a bit like, um, if you're interviewing somebody for a podcast, and you're the person like me who's interviewing somebody and they don't know what to say, that's not going to be so much fun having to drag words out of them than say having a chat with you, and you let it roll. And I really enjoy what I'm doing, as you know. But even if you said to me, "Linda, why don't you be an accountant for motivational speakers?" I love motivational speakers. I'm one myself. I think, no,
Mhm.
no, no, all these numbers. That is a good point then, because first of all, we can't like all our clients. But if you like the business they are operating, you're musical as well. You've got this kind of extra, shall I say,
Yes.
expertise added to your portfolio.
So I am a bass player, and I've appeared live a few times, not very many. So I wouldn't call myself a, a Paul McCartney, but I do play and I do enjoy it. And that's what led me to want to work with more musicians. We have worked with a few, and we are working with some. And one of the things when we formed Creative Minds, we wanted to democratize the accounting tools. So by that, I mean Fortune 500 companies have a very wide range of tools they use
Mm.
and techniques they use. So I wanted to take those same techniques and apply them to smaller businesses, and including things like we're working with a musician now who is just, he's a phenomenal musician, but he could really benefit from some organization, which is not his strong suit.
No,
I am pretty good at that side. Um,
that's
uh,
awesome.
so my musical background myself allows me to have a sort of a rapport, and we can
Mm.
talk about things from a musical side.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good business to have. I also have an announcement I'll make probably our next meeting. I can't quite make it now,
Oh,
but it
that's
is
exciting.
so
That's exciting.
I'm very excited about a number of things going on with my business, and I'll mention this one in particular next time. So a
That's
teaser
oh,
for the fans.
that is awesome. So, what you've shared with our listeners is accounting isn't boring, but it might be if you don't choose your clients wisely. And also, by you choosing clients, you have an affinity with them. You've got a musical background, should we say? You love artists, stuff like that. So you have a rapport with them. You understand them better because we all think differently. So
Yes.
basically, that's a really, really good point. What are some of the challenges that people may get into? Like, for instance, do you have to go to college or university to be an accountant to get all those letters after your name?
You do. You need a solid grounding in education. Um, so that looks very different for everybody, but you do need a solid grounding education. Now, saying that, one of the things I love most about accounting is your prior work experience, no matter what industry it was in, actually makes you more valuable. So one of the core groups we also deal with is software developers because I'd spent years in the
Oh,
trenches as a software developer. So a good accountant will have a mix of higher education and experience.
I
And
like that.
so that experience is by far the best tool an accountant has, even more than any education or letters after your name. A good experience makes you invaluable. Um, and I would like to add there are multiple types of accountants as well.
Oh,
So and accountant is a sort of an umbrella term. There are accountants who basically give tax advice, and that's what they do. And there are accountants which are more the type of accountant I am. We offer business advice, and I don't want to use the term coaching, but the
no,
truth is, it I would be lying if I said I don't coach the majority of my clients.
it's
So
good.
yeah, so those are traditionally called CFO services, and we've managed to turn CFO services on its head in the sense that we have a path for even the smallest business to get some CFO services. CFO services include things like business planning and budgeting, and um, even setting goals and helping put our clients in touch with other professionals who we find a gap in their business plan, which we help with as well, and things like that. So when you're looking to hire an accountant, you want to find what your needs are and find the right accountant. There are in this region there are countless excellent accountants, but
Yeah.
not all accountants will be excellent for you.
For your and also not just for you, for your personality, your business, or even if you haven't got a business, you may need an accountant.
Yeah.
But like, say you're young, you've just come out of university, and you've completed all the accounting things you have to do. Is it impossible to actually become a one-man band and be an accountant on your own? Do you have to work with another accounting firm to get that experience?
This is a fantastic question. So that's what I did. I basically started an accounting firm from the ground up. That is not the way to start an accounting firm because one thing they do not teach you in school is how to run an accounting firm. They teach you how to do the accounting,
Yeah.
they teach you all sorts of cool things. But the day-to-day operation of running an accounting firm, frankly, uh, is a Gordian knot that needs to be unraveled.
Oh.
And um, so, having done it, it probably would have made more sense to work for someone for a year, maybe two, but you can do it.
You can, yeah.
And this the way we did it is we 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 attended a bunch of seminars, like everyone or everywhere. We admitted we knew nothing about running an accounting firm. That was our first point. And then we started looking for some people that had run successful accounting firms,
Oh,
and we had a chat with them.
that's
Hey,
good.
this is what we're doing. How do we do it? And we got lots of extremely good advice. And so when we reformed Plan with Pathway, which was sort of I like to call it an organic weed garden, nothing wrong with it. When we reformed and focused into Creative Minds Accounting, I knew how to run an accounting firm.
Oh, interesting.
So that was as much of a spiritual change as anything. And I'm still learning, and I'm going to learn till the day I finally retire, which
That's
probably be never.
that's a
So,
good message as well. You can do it on your own, but I
yeah,
think with the way the economy is at the moment, and we're not scared of competition. We love competition, but instead of worrying about the competition, find someone, if you can work with them for a while, and also
yeah.
do what you guys did and find some advice and some tips. I'm going to ask you a weird question because this always gets to me. Nobody I know, but you hear in the news sometimes that some accountants were party to some bad stuff, like, what's it called, fraud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, as a client, maybe, how does a client suss out who's, honest? Does that sound terrible? But people ask
No.
me this, and I go, I don't have the answer.
So this is one of the things that makes our firm different. We don't treat um, we don't treat accounting as a transaction. So by that I mean you give us your shoebox and we give you financial statements at the end of it. We do that, but along the way, we prefer to work with our clients and have, as whenever it's possible, a meeting to discuss things that we found, things that we need, things they can improve on. Most people who have an accountant who was dishonest never followed up and never paid attention to what the accountant was doing.
Oh,
And we encourage our clients to pay attention. And um, ideally for us, we prefer our clients to do their own accounts receivable and accounts payable,
yeah.
which money coming in and money going out. But do we will do one of those for a client. We won't do both. So
Why
um,
is that though? Why will you want to do one and not both?
So, because it's so, if you have total control over the money going in and out of someone's business, you can easily,
You
it's
can
very
have
easy to defraud them.
wow.
Now, I also am a member of Certified Professional Bookkeepers of Canada, which is an organization that has a code of ethics that I'm obligated to follow. As a matter of fact, I'm on the Ethics Investigation Committee. So,
Ooh.
for lack of a better term, the bookkeeping police.
Ooh.
And so um, I would encourage someone to, if you're dealing with a bookkeeping firm or accounting firm, that you get to know what their professional standards are, and that can tell you a lot. Um, People that hold themselves to a high level of standards are not not necessarily, but you have a better chance of finding someone who's
Somebody
honest.
who's yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to talk to people. And I wouldn't even say talk to clients.
No.
If you're looking to hire an accountant, talk to people that they're surrounded with. So if you meet an
Oh,
accountant at a networking business or
yeah.
event,
Yeah.
talk to some of the people that had talked to them, what they thought, and get an
Mm.
opinion.
It's a really good
So
point. Yeah. And again, as a client, in my case, I'd be the client, you'd be my person. It is up to me to do due diligence. I'm just going to check how much time we got. I've got to ask you another question before we wind this up, because I know you're busy, but maybe next time, could we talk about how you might be incorporating AI into your business? Some of the
Absolutely.
pros and cons. That's a really good topic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's it's something that's taken the accounting world by storm. And frankly, we are probably one of the best. We are probably one of the industries that will benefit most from AI. Uh, um, we were early adopters, but we were right behind lawyers. So lawyers screwed everything up with AI. So accountants, when we were jumping on board, we took a look at how the lawyers screwed things up and said, "Oh, okay, that don't do that." I'm kidding. Any lawyers
No, no,
listening?
no.
I'm kidding, guys.
Lawyers for business in particular are
Yeah,
still trying to weigh up the consequences.
yeah,
And I think in a way, because obviously corporate people have lawyers,
yeah,
bigger companies, large companies, small companies. And I think they are a bit wary of saying, don't do this or don't do that, because,
yeah.
I don't think we'll ever find out how disruptive it can be or how maybe dishonest, that's another way, how dishonest AI can be until something goes wrong in maybe 3 or 4 years. I tell you the truth though, I think I'd be very nervous of using AI if I was an accountant or a lawyer, because then maybe you could lose we could lose the client's money. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it, but I'm
No,
sure in our conversation you'll kind of give us an idea what due diligence you took and
yeah.
how do you know much about AI? How have you learned how to use AI?
Yeah.
Because everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. So to leave our listeners with a really, really good, tip or words of wisdom, what could you leave with us today that is food for thought?
So most people talk to their tax person once a year.
Yeah.
They, if you're a small business person who has a shoebox that you drop to your accountant, bookkeeper, tax preparer, and you drop it off, even say you drop it off February 1st, I would urge you in the month of December to actually have a phone call. Pick up the phone, send an email, send a text, depending on your person, and talk to your tax preparer and say, "Hey, we're getting to tax time. Do you have anything um, you think I need to pay special attention to
Oh,
before we do taxes?"
good.
If you don't have an accountant and you a tax person, bookkeeper, and you are looking to hire one for the first time for your small business coming up in the new year for the 2025 tax year in 2026,
Yeah.
don't wait till the last minute. You'll either, and I don't mean that facetiously,
No.
talk now.
Yeah.
Uh, get an appointment and talk with someone because uh, it's we're busy. We're really busy during tax season, and
Yeah.
adding another customer doesn't mean we won't do a good job. But if we can plan better, knowing what's coming. So
I was
uh,
going to say that because I know you can save money for clients. You
yeah,
can know what's good, and really, it's not fair to say, "Oh, I need to know this now," and you've only got like a few weeks to find out the answer. So I would be the same as you'd say, find your accountant a couple of months before you actually,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
plan, prepare, prioritize. My 3 Ps, I love those.
yeah.
And that's really, really good advice for people. Plus, it's not fair on you guys if they also, do you as an accountant or most accountants keep in touch with their clients on a regular basis or just wait for them to phone you when they have a problem?
So different clients have different expectations, and we have clients. Frankly, we have a client we talk to almost every day.
Okay.
We are giving him a lot more advisory services than your typical business, but traditionally, we like to talk to our clients at the very least
Yes.
quarterly,
That's
at the very
lovely.
least,
That's lovely. I
preferably
love it.
more. So,
And you see, this is why you are the SBCN's accountant, tax expert. Actually, you know everything in my words. I could ask you, I think you're absolutely amazing. And why Dave, the other co-founder, myself, trust you. We've known you for many, many, many years. and people say such nice things about you, and you're so authentic. So I would say you're the perfect person to trust with our money or our business or whatever. And I want to thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to the next month and see what you're going to store. If it's to do with AI, I'm really interested because I'm going to be going, but Peter, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? So I'm going to be throwing all these at you because it's good to have a debate.
True. I'm so thankful that you included me, Linda. I had a great time as always.
Oh, lovely. So we'll see you next month. Bye for
Yep.
now.
Bye.